For the last 87 years, the NJCAA has provided academic and athletic opportunities to thousands of student athletes. However, several rules make it more challenging for two-year college transfers. Recently, 16 national coaches associations, led by the National Fast Pitch Coaches Association, sent a request for change to NCAA leadership to make the rules the same for all transfers. We commend their leadership and stand together in support of same game, same rules.
After 23 seasons as a professional playing and working in baseball, leadership in sports are things I deal with every day. I feel like I have my master's in baseball field experience, but I wanted the formal degree to go along with it. I needed something flexible with my schedule, and I wanted a school that shared my faith and values. That's why ACU's Master's in Sports Leadership was the right fit for me.
Pursue your undergraduate or graduate degree online at Abilene Christian University.
The 2025 NJCAA Division II Volleyball National Championship, second round action here on the NJCAA Network inside the Alliant Energy Powerhouse Arena in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. We're now the 7-10 matchup. Iowa Central, the 7th seed. St. John's River State, the 10 seed. St. John's River State, they have a brand new coaching staff. They're on a 12-match winning streak. They have a Hall of Famer as a head coach, a 3-time Hall of Famer now, and coming in for their first time at the tournament. On the other side, they're the 10th seed. And then for Iowa Central, 10-match winning streak. They are the winners of the ICAC conference. That's the Iowa Community College Athletic Conference. Tough conference. They defeated Kirkwood at the very end of the year, but they haven't played for almost 2 full weeks, have the Tritons. So we'll see which team can build off of their momentum, even though St. John's has the momentum a little later, as that was Lake Sumter they took out in the South Atlantic District, where Iowa Central defeated Southeastern. But as I said, that was 2 weeks ago from yesterday. So my email went out to Coach Horn a long time ago. He probably doesn't even remember that. Coach Horn for Iowa Central, what a pleasure it is to meet with her and talk with her. She's a former Nebraska player, Nebraska Cornhusker, that is. She's in her 13th year for Iowa Central. Kind of a staple here at the tournament. They finished third back in the spring of 2021. They're making their 11th appearance. That is their best finish, was the third in the spring of 2021. Last year, they were the 10th seed and lost in 5 to Johnson County. In the second round, they beat Mesa, but then lost in 5 to Illinois Central. So flip the roles this time, as they are the 7th seed, and St. John's River State is the 10 seed this year, and they were the winners of the South Atlantic Championship. They beat Pensacola and 3-1, and then swept Lake Sumter State. Had a block party in that Pensacola win. They had 4 solos, 30 block assists. And Coach Champagne, that name might sound familiar, as she is the head coach. She said it was all business against Lake Sumter. They have a record of 21-13. However, they had a bunch of forfeited matches. They really see themselves as 30-4. If that was the case, it's 30-4 against 30-7. But they reported some of their issues to the NJCAA, and that's why they have the record of 21-13. They were 18-2 in the Sun Lakes Conference. Did you put up that match comparison already, or did I miss that? There we go. Thank you. Presented by Netting Pros. You were just waiting on me, weren't you? We're all good. Look at that kills per set, though. Almost dead even, 13 almost each. The high offense that these two teams are going to bring to the table. They both hit, well, Iowa Central just a shade under 250 for hitting percentage, and St. John's River State at 273. We're going to see some offense here in this one, and that matchup comparison all presented by Netting Pros. I'll see if we got our starters yet put in. I don't think so, not quite yet, so we'll get to that as well. St. John's River State also has Lavina Teal, who is a fantastic killer up front, over 450 kills on the year. She averages almost 4 kills per set and hits over 300. She is an impressive athlete up front, will be Teal for St. John's River State. And for Iowa Central, it's a host of them, but Talia Sampson is electric up front. She's over 650 kills on the year, almost 5 kills per set, and hits 261, plus she works all the way around. She is a very impressive hitter for Iowa Central. So you got 2 former collegiate volleyball players now coaching in this matchup. And so it should be a barn burner. And so now we do have our starters. We're ready to go. Who do you want to start with there? Where are we going first? All brought to you by Zurich. There, you just put it up just like that. We'll just hit them both. There you go. On the right side, it's St. John starters. Katie Cole, Andrea Reyes, Jessica Horn, Juliet Murillo, Lavina Teal, and Nadia Uten. And for Iowa Central, their starters, Addie Hinton, Annabelle Seaman, Shirley Monahan, Devon Rodewald, Talia Simpson, and then Dina Robb. Don't want to forget about that libero, too. You see her there, and that is Mia McCaleb for Iowa Central. And struggling with the libero. Oh, there she is. Elisa Peixoto is the libero for St. John's River State. And I really had to look at that one. I had some help from Coach Dryden, helped me out with that. Sean Dryden, the assistant coach. Peixoto is the libero for St. John's River State. She's coming in here shortly, and so is McCaleb for Iowa Central. What a match this should be. I'm really looking forward to this one. Out of the 6 matches that we're going to see today, I feel like this one has the potential to go 5, and not only will it go 5, I think it's going to be a tight match too. I want to see, the key for me here is to see how Iowa Central comes out. You know, haven't played in almost 2 weeks. It's a long break. Coach Horn even talked about it in her email, but she said a few years ago they had a 18-day break between regional and nationals, and she said that was just too dang long. That's her quote. She said a 14-day break isn't horrible. Athletes tend to get a little banged up towards the end, so a longer break allows us to take multiple days off. And she's saying, I'd say a 14 break is good, but I don't want to go any longer than that. Well, she doesn't have to see Monahan serve first for Iowa Central, and away we go. And they feed the middle right away with Murillo, and she gets the kill. Murillo gets on top of things. She's a 6-foot middle blocker, blocking machine, huge jump, extremely aggressive at the net. And back to serve will be Horn. Jessica Horn is the setter. That one pushed across by Sampson. Not the strong swing yet. Here it comes. And off the block and in. Right at the 10-foot line for St. John's River State. That was for Mallory Goodyear. Right side attacker with a strong swing. And Pensacola State just ousted the number 5 seed Johnson County in the second round. Sampson takes a lot off of that one and the tip. Now, when I talked to Coach Horn about Sampson, she says she's another high achiever. Cannon all power, she said. But we've also seen her tip a couple times. So Pensacola State defeating Johnson County 15-12 in the 5th over on court number 2. And there's another hard hit by Murillo. So I need to update my bracket here. A serving error there. I'll also keep tabs of ties in the match. Was 2-2. And big swing and kill over that far side for Goodyear. Or did I? No, it was not tied 2-2. Pardon me. Yeah, it's 4-2. No ties yet. My bad. Back to serve is Kirkland. Kaylee Kirkland, really a defensive specialist. Server 2, 40 digs and 20 aces. Coach Champagne really using her DSs. Seaman will set over the far side, and Sampson bringing the hammer there. Sedgwick, Kansas is where she's out of. First in kills on the year, 5th in kills per set. And get this, she was also a NJCAA offensive and defensive player of the week one time this year. So it's not just the front. She gets it done. Getting it done on the back end, too, on the defensive side. That one off the block for Katie Cole. 5-3. Back to serve will be Andrea Reyes. And again, another defensive specialist for Coach Champagne and company. Got to use your depth. Saw that just a little bit ago with Gulf Coast State on this floor. Getting the win over and into the net for Iowa Central, and early double up time. We're talking 6-3 for St. John's River State. 5 kills on 6 attacks thus far for the Vikings. Played off of Monahan, or played off of Sampson, pardon me. Sampson on that, and then Monahan is the killer. Out of Grundy Center, Iowa, not too far away from Cedar Rapids. Last year she played DS, trained to be a libero last spring, but a great athlete. High level ability to see the block and heavily coachable. And there's a slide over the far side for Cole. Blocked. Another chance for, that was not touched. And 4 hits. And back to serve will be McCaleb. Caleb, the homegrown talent out of that Fort Dodd. Known her since middle school is what Coach Horn said. So some club ball there too in Fort Dodd. And off the block, Newton got that one. Iowa Central had kept it up for a moment and on to the floor. 7-5. And Monahan again. She's feeling it early as Monahan. Next up over on court number 2 will be Cowley taking on Madison. So that's what court number 2 has. Another second round matchup. Here the 7-10. That's the 6-11. Block up front by Iowa Central, stays over for the Vikings, and a roll shot from the back. Monahan off the double block. Tried to save there on the far side. Horn said she had it up, which she did, but she didn't get any help from anyone else. And 7th. Good response by Iowa Central after being down early. And an ace in front of libero Peixoto. Eight-7, Iowa Central. This tournament so wide open, and a second ace. Rodewald with 2 of them then. He's also out of Hoyt campus. 5'10 DS. I mean, you'll cover some ground as a 5'10 DS. You know, you typically see DS as a like 5'4", 5'6". And she saved that one. Monahan tips on the ground. Who's that trying to save over there? It looked like Reyes. And 10-7, Iowa Central has responded nicely. That was Reyes that got down, tried to recover off of the block, could not. Newton on the receive. Teal, well, you know you're going to get plenty of him. Lavina Teal. (10-8). So Peixoto back to serve from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Set back over to Monahan. Block. That back set come to Sampson. Chance here for Teal away from the net and still managed to make it work. Hit the back line. Teal, the transfer from Richard Bland, which is where Coach Champagne and Coach Dryden were prior to this year. Able to score at a high rate, 6 rotation, outside range power. Getting D1 looks is Teal. A couple of them on St. John's River State is getting some D1 looks. And wow, look at that tool off the block for Monahan. Only 5'7". And if you never heard, you probably haven't, of Grundy Center, Iowa, they have had a marvelous volleyball program the last few years. I'd stretch that out to almost the last 10. Making state tournaments left and right. Back set for as well, and got that off of the block of up front of Murillo. So Iowa Central doing it all here early and utilizing their hitters. Back row attacks, front row, doesn't matter. Monahan, a little secret weapon right now for Iowa Central. Teal answers with one of her own and a big swing there. Back to serve will be Jessica Horn. Freshman from Plainfield, Illinois, going all the way down to Florida to play. Oh, and tough tracking there. Seaman wanted that. She probably should have let that go and let Sampson take it. But an ace serve for Horn. 87 of them coming in here today. 1,000 plus career assists. A little slide there for Hint. And can't be saved. Rodewald tried. Now we're tied back at 12. Both teams have had good responses here early on. Kind of what I figured. Big battle. (12-12). Set for Sampson. Had to bring it back over towards the middle. You know, and that is a tough set. Her body is not really squared up with the net, 1. 2, the set brings her closer to the antenna, so she really has nowhere to go with it other than bring it back off the block or try to cut it to the 10-foot line. Instead, she found an opening in the double block. That's an impressive vision there. And what a swing that was by Teal. Teal. Back to serve, too. Free ball. Well, Sampson got a swing out of it, but probably should have forgot about that and just led the play to the next volley. Put it over. 14-13. Teal serving. Another good hard serve. Played over the far side. Rodewald found it and ends up setting up Sampson for the kill. Vikings looking around at each other. St. John's River State rated 15, come in as the 10th seed. Iowa Central ranked 8 and the 7th seed. Anyone's match, I'm telling you. Anyone's tournament at this point. Oh, look at the tricky setter. Annabelle Seaman, 33 kills on the year. She's over 2,000 assists. Top 5 at Iowa Central and the best trained setter I've coached from Coach Horn. And that's saying something. Oh, my. Peixoto getting her arm out of it. Well, put it up, but then tried to pull it back. Couldn't in time, and an ace serve. Coming off of Seaman. Only 5'6" out of Papillion, Nebraska. That's the suburb of Omaha. If you're kind of familiar with at least Omaha, Nebraska, where the Men's College World Series takes place, as well as one of the finest zoos you'll ever see. Damn full of knowledge up here. Dina Robb tipping that up and over the block. And Coach Champagne taking a timeout. 17-14, Iowa Central. takes 4 of the last 5 points. And that forces the Vikings to take a timeout. Well, you're showing St. John's River State. Let's talk about them quickly because this year, a new adventure for Coach Champagne and Coach Dryden as they leave where they won a national championship in 2022, Richard Bland, and took the job at St. John's River State. They moved in February, started a complete rebuild, only 2 returners from the previous team, and helped to move the rest onto a better fit. Honestly, we knew this program had a volleyball-only gym, a brand new housing on campus, and a TerraFlex floor. Crazy to me. They haven't had a strong volleyball team while having access to all that. Sean and I love a challenge, so we wanted to be the first to make history with this college and take them to the national tournament. Region 8 significantly stronger than the previous 2 regions that Coach Champagne and company have been into. And she said, so it's been awesome having multiple battles throughout the year. I also always wanted to live in Florida. So this was the perfect opportunity to make the move down there. Well, she got the team into the national championship tournament, and she got to go into the Hall of Fame. We haven't even talked about that yet. We'll make sure to hit that in timeout number 2 of set 2 at some point. We'll talk about that. As Seaman on the serve, big swing. Nadia Uten she is an all FSCAA and conference first team. Improved greatly, expanded the range, great blocking. And Coach Champagne says she really helps out in the back row too. Back to serve is number 2, Elisa Stoltzfus. Also an outside hitter, and that climbed over the net, and a little home cooking for St. John's River State, who are nowhere near their campus, but that worked out. 17-16. Tight matchup here in set 1. Sampson went with the tip instead of the full swing. A back attack, but that one blocked up front. Second one over the far side. Another block that stays in off of the Goodyear attack. Both teams are hitting over 400. You can't ask for much more than this. 12 kills each. Only 2 attack errors for each club. Great clean volleyball, just a battle back and forth. Setting a tip. Cooper Griffin tips that one over. She's adjusting to be a right side hitter. Moves comfortable on the left. What Coach Horn said. I know that's the thing about some of these outside right side hitters. Sometimes a hitter just kind of gets stuck with what they're comfortable with. And as a coach, you have to move them around. Far side, Goodyear. She's a right side hitter. Monahan back to the front, but missed that one. Only the 3rd miss hit for Iowa Central. They were hitting 500. They're going to dip below that. 400 for St. John's River State. Lots of dribbling back there to get ready for that serve. Monahan. Big swing and attack by Uten, but no. Monahan, yes. She packs a punch at 5'7", 2017. McCaleb to serve for Iowa Central, 20-17. You know, talking to both coaches too, Coach Horn said the same thing. This tournament, she goes all the way down to 13. 1 through 13 could win this thing, is what she said. And that, I think they got Uten to hit the net on that. And Coach Champagne calling a timeout. So Iowa Central, their huge win. I mean, it was a massive win that they had when they started rough. Iowa Central started rough. At the OWT, the opening weekend tournament, they lost to Gulf Coast State in 4, lost to Heartland in 5, lost to Lurleen B. Wallace in 5, and Pensacola State in 4. You start 0-4 they had 3 losses after that, and one of them was not to Kirkwood. They beat Kirkwood in a huge match on October 23rd, 3-2, and Coach Horn said it was her favorite match maybe of her entire career. She said our stands were packed. Students were the loudest crowds I've ever heard, and it really was fun and a special coaching moment to see everything put together. That win over Kirkwood allowed them to be the 1 seed in the region tournament as well. So instead of having to travel to North Dakota, which is what Kirkwood had to do to make the tournament, they got to stay at home, beat Southeastern in that Wednesday matchup 2 weeks ago, and propelled them into the national tournament with after just that one. Well, they had 2 matches. They had to beat Central first in the district semifinals. That was hardly unfair for Michaela. She jump-started her serve twice. Hooten on that. That was a tough handle by Caleb for the receive, and that one long for Griffin. St. John's River State closing the gap to 2. Coach Champagne out of timeouts. Hooten to serve again. And an ace serve. Lead trimmed to 1. And remember, Coach Horn has both timeouts, so she can utilize those. We have not had a tie since 13. If memory serves me correctly, too, I never saw Iowa Central at all last year in the tournament. I don't think I ever saw them because I was over on court, too. And Monahan, that went all the way up. Climbed up and over the railing. Front row. That ball is going to be very lonely for quite a while, because it is just going to sit there as no one's over. Up, somebody, young kid's going to go over there. An ace serve following it, too, for Rodewald. Cut it to 1. There you go. Nice job by that young man helping out with bring the molten ball back down for it. 23-20. That one, another one. Boy, it just climbed over the net and absolutely nosedived afterwards right in front of Ute. Set point for Rodewald. That might have been long, but Reyes played it. It's 3 straight. Rodewald all fired up. The DS, 41 aces on the season. Got a couple there. Crucial moment. 5 aces for Rodewald in that set. Iowa Central wins the set 25-20. We'll take a timeout. The 7-10, 7 leads the 10, 1-0. Second round of the NJCAA Division II Volleyball Championships continue here on the NJCAA Network.
Credit Union One, the official banking partner of the National Junior College Athletic Association, offers the best of everyday banking. CU1 members gain access to competitive products like high-yield checking, dedicated financial wellness resources to help you build a strong foundation for the future, and nationwide access through 24/7 digital and mobile banking and an expansive network of 90,000 ATMs from coast to coast. Discover better banking for all at cu1.com. Federally insured by NCUA.
My name is Riley Clark. I'm the athletic director at the Weber School in Sandy Springs. Our gym was just built this past year. It's a brand new facility, and we were in need of new scoreboards. We were looking for good quality of scoreboard, ease of use with the iPads and the ability to post anything we want on that, the great warranty that it has and the ability to work with a company so easily. Those were really things we were looking for, and we found all of that with digital scoreboards.
Have yourself a match in one set for Devon Rodewald. 5 aces out of the 6 for Iowa Central, and that is her season high. In a match, it's 5 aces. She comes away with 5 of the 6 for the Tritons, no bigger than the final 3 to get the win, 25-20. There you see the numbers. You cannot fault St. John's River State for their offense. They hit 310. Iowa Central bettered at 407. Forget the digs. These teams might not even get 30 a total if everybody keeps hitting the way they are in the first set. 9 total for Iowa Central in that first set, 7 for St. John's River State for digs. Match stats all brought to you by the U.S. Air Force. My, oh my. Rodewald, though. Coach Horn got to be thrilled with the way her team came out, played after a 2-week break. Get the win, 25-20. She's been a ball to talk to, though, and watch. She had one of the finest hitters in the country a few years ago, Estefas. And so I asked her about that, too. Thinking about between her as well as her and then Sampson, kind of comparing the two. And she said Steffes was more of a brought a lot more to the table as far as hitting tools at her disposal. Caitlin Steffes for Iowa Central finished her career with 793 kills. That was third best in Division II all time for Iowa Central. But she said Sampson just brings the power. That's all it is. She just brings the power. Well, we saw some of that in that first set. Talked about the numbers. Let's go through some individuals. Sampson had 4 kills, hit 222, but it was Monahan that came up large. 636 is what she hit, 8 kills. Teal hit 571 and 4 kills for St. John's River State. And we start with Addie Hint up and over, or on the side of the block. And she is a 2-sport athlete at Iowa Central, because Addie Hint also runs track. Learned on the fly and huge improvement. Boy, that might have been out. Uten put her arms out, but I think that might have been long on that serve. And Wingert with the ace. Mia, 13 aces. And almost got another one. Sampson try to put that down. Set for her again. Line shot to the corner, yes. And Iowa Central up 3-0 early. St. John's River State trying to regroup. I'm telling you, we're going to have a battle in that consolation matchup too. That 5th place consolation is going to be an absolute battle. As another overpass, and then Sampson takes that. Uten is really struggling in the back with her serve receive. 178 digs. I know she's a FSCAA and conference first teamer. And Coach Champagne said she helps the back row. That double block out. And that kill goes to Teal. St. John's River State cannot find themselves in a huge hole early. Ties in set 1, only 3 of them, 7, 12, 13. A miscommunication on the back row for Iowa Central. Between Monahan and McCaleb, Teal with an ace. 4 aces for St. John's River State, 7 for Iowa Central. Each team, though, their offense, and that one does climb up and out. The 6 rotation players are going to work so hard all day long. We're going to stick with the Iowa Community College Athletic Conference, too, in our next match as Kirkwood plays Calhoun. And that one just missed for Goodyear. 2-time champion Cowley coming up over on court number 2. That one long and a serving error for Seaman. They'll play Madison, the Wolfpack, in the 6-11 matchup. Callie always brings a good crowd. I could see them standing up. They're excited. Back to serve is Peixoto. The libero for St. John's River State. How about that? Walked up to the service line and then jumped. Line shot there by Goodyear. Dug up by McCaleb. Sampson towards the middle. Back set for Teal. Roll shot. And then McCaleb does get sort of a dig on it. And then it came right off of Robb and out of bounds. So Teal on that back set. What a match that should be. They just had a 5-setter. And Kansas Jayhawk Community College teams right now are 0 for 2. Neosho County lost their first round matchup, and Johnson County lost their second round match, as there's Cooper Griffith. Sampson to serve, a 7-4 advantage for Iowa Central. That one sideways and into the netting, and another ace. Boy, the serve receive for St. John's River State. Really struggling on the year for aces. 278 for Iowa Central on 262 serving errors. Set for Goodyear, and she tried to cut it and shorted it. Double up time, 8-4. Make it 9-4 now, Iowa Central. Coach Champagne's already calling a timeout. Not liking the start for St. John's River State. So the Vikings really struggling. Remember, both these teams are on a winning streak. 12 straight for St. John's River State, 10 for Iowa Central. A lot of momentum for Iowa Central when they were coming in. You know, it's a whole roster for St. John's River State. Battle tested, we know that. You got Florida teams galore here. Gulf Coast State, Pensacola State, both going 2-0. Gulf Coast State was one of the, in fact, both of them were at-larges. Pensacola State and Gulf Coast State both at-larges and winning their first round match, for Gulf Coast State it was the second round. Still, so was Pensacola State, the second round. Iowa Central. The ICAC getting 2 teams in at the Iowa Community College Athletic Conference. They got Iowa Central and Kirkwood. And you could have made a case if Neosho County would have not beaten DMAC at the Iowa Central tournament, you might have saw DMAC here instead of Neosho County. That's how close the Iowa Community College Conference was to getting a third team. And another ace serve after the timeout. Yeah, I think Coach Champagne's going to have to make some changes to her serve receive. He's going with Elisa Stolzfus. They're trying to shift that around, too. Peixoto got that one right in her grill. What's they get? Ebeling. Or was that Teal? Now, Teal's not up front. I thought that was Ebeling that got the kill. I'll get clarification for that in just a second. A lot of congestion up in the middle. No full swing for Robb. Big block up front for St. John's River State. Iowa Central has to send a free ball. And a far side. And Uten had that go off of the antenna. That might have been Cole then. No, Teal got the last one for, pardon me, I'm sorry. Got that all messed up. McCaleb on the serve. Back set. And another kill from the back row for Teal. So going to her a couple times on the back row. That rotation will put her back up to the front, and Uten will be the one to serve. Teal has 5. Didn't really go through the individuals yet. We will at some point. McCaleb, tough serve handle. And Monahan, which between her and Rodewald, it was kind of their first set. – 11-7. Iowa Central with the lead, but no lead feels safe here in this second round. Monahan, what a save. That brought over, and my goodness, Sampson will get another one. That's the second time she's had a kill from flat-footed. And here comes that hero of that first set. Rodewald had 5 aces in one match, and she got 5 in the first set. Unbelievable. And what a knife cut that was for Teal. And Hint tried to save it. Not much you could do with that. Another good kill for Teal. And back to serve is Reyes. – 12-8. Iowa Central up by 4. That one had some wicked spin. Came right to Rodewald. She couldn't believe that. Monahan into the net. She's cooled off. Individuals, let's go through them real quickly. Teal has 9 kills for St. John's River State. And it's 6:43 still. Monahan, 8 kills. Cooled off a little bit. Blocked on that one. And another block up front for Abelis Perales, who I don't think we saw in that first set. That one off the block. Saved up on the back line by Sampson. Monahan missing that. Some long volleys here that are going to St. John's River State. They're really grinding. Paula Abelis Morales, we did not see then. Here's a middle blocker from Jacksonville, Florida. All Sun Lakes Conference second team. One of only 2 returners for this squad. And that one, a serve. And the lead dwindling to 1. What a nice response here by St. John's River State. And Reyes is all fired up coming off of the court. You can follow all the action of the 2025 NJCAA Volleyball Championships live on the NJCAA Network. Go to njcaa.org/network to view live and archive video of each game. We'll be here on the NJCAA Network all the way through this tournament. Championship still here on the NJCAA Network as well. It switches on to ESPN Plus for the D1 championship, but that's the only one. Otherwise, the D1, all other matches besides the championship on the NJCAA Network. Of course, there's soccer going on, too. There's a lot happening. A lot of champions being crowned here for fall sports. We'll move into basketball season here shortly. I know I will when I get back to La Crosse, Wisconsin. This is where I call home. And right when I get up there, I think I got a hockey game on Monday night that I got to help film. Basketball starts soon, too. In fact, the girls that I cover are playing a game on Thursday. So winter sport right around the corner. College winter sports have already started. Oh, boy. Well short for Reyes. Monahan to serve. Iowa Central with a 2-point lead after that timeout by Coach Horn. Peixoto on that receive, and then another attack here. This one by Teal, which she's had so few of them. That is her first of the match. But in this set, let's see. Iowa, well, has the offenses cooled in this set. Up front, a big swing by Aviles Morales. And that just tipped over by Seaman. No full swing. That slide way off for Morales. And the tip by Sampson. Way to take something off by Sampson, reading it well. But St. John's River State hit 310 in the first set. They're hitting .056, under 100 in this set. And we talked about Iowa Central lighting it up here. 407 in the first set. They're at 167. So both teams have really cooled off when it came to the hitting. And the ace is still piling up for everybody. Jessica Horn, add your name to one. Sixth ace. Iowa Central has 9 so far. Their most was 17. Horn again. What a setter she has been, though. She touched it first, and an overpass that's going to be taken by Sampson. Can't be overpassing. Got those heavy hitters up front. And back to serve will be Maya Wingert, who is also labeled as a setter, but really used as a serving specialist. Coach Horn really using pretty much everybody in her disposal for a roster. In fact, I have to trim her roster so I can get it on one page. They have a full JV squad at Iowa Central, so. Oh, a tough serve. Boy, oh boy. St. John's River State lucky that did not get to be an ace, but Seaman sees the floor open and goes with the dump off. We've seen a ton of those 2 touch calls as well, but not on the setters so much. The 2 touch call usually comes on the hitters that are doing that. And so that time was the setter, Seaman, and Smart. Coach Horn and company. I mean, what a credit. Going 0 for 4 at the beginning of the year. Come back. They had a win over Mesa, 2 at the home invite. Over Madison College, who's playing over on the other side against Cali, the 2-time champs. So they're here. Lost to KCK, lost to Cali. Beat Sauk Valley at the Kirkwood invite, and they beat Neosho County as well. So really have some impressive wins. I think the one loss that I really questioned for Iowa Central was the 3-1 loss to Minnesota West. Minnesota West was, the Lady Jays were here just a week ago in D3. And I know that Coach Horn said I would pinpoint that match as our turning point, actually, as that forced us to have some hard conversations and really made us look at how we are preparing and training throughout the week. And our girls stepped up their focus starting October 7th, and they have kept it going from there. And she's right, that loss was October 6th, and they have not lost since. That's why you hear the coaches all the time saying that. And, yep, Horn reached over the net. Bring that over. And so that's a back row attack. But you hear so many times that coaches say it was a loss. A loss really hurt us. A loss turned around our season. And sometimes it can just deflate you, and sometimes it can motivate you. Here for Iowa Central in this season, that loss to Minnesota West really motivated them. Don't want to feel that again, apparently. Right now they're up 1-0 in the second round of the NJCAA Division II Championship Tournament. And lead the second set, 19-14. Oh, nice dump off. Smart play. Vilos Morales realizing that ball's just going to come right to me. I got to put it over, and she does. It was on the 2. Smart. Again, one of only 2 returners. And Sampson just called everybody off and said, I'm going to take that one, but it's Teal. Or no, pardon me, that's Uten over there with a big swing and a kill. Excuse me, not Teal. Teal's the one serving. Pardon me on that. On a Hard serve. Saved up, though. What a save by Sampson over at the scores table. Uten, big swing. Another kill. This one goes up and over the scores table. Couldn't bring that one back. (19-17). Feels like St. John's River State really needs this set, too. Cut it across. Sampson finds the floor. First in kills, as I said, she was an all-tournament. She was the MVP of the tournament, all-region player, fourth in kills at Iowa Central. She's over 1,000. She's also a 4.0 GPA. Avilos Morales coming right back. Yeah, 4.0 GPA for Sampson in political science. So I think that's the other thing. Coach Horn mentioned a couple of the GPAs for these, for her players. And you talk to every coach, they're not trying to just build volleyball players, they're trying to build good humans. And that's exactly what they're doing. Peixoto up and out on her serve. Far side. 3-point lead, Iowa Central. I believe Coach Champagne has used both timeouts, as far as I was aware. Line drive serve over to Uten. Uten back in. Teal over to Uten again over on that far side, pardon me. The lefty swing of Peters has come in. Another block up front. Uten trying it a couple of times. So was Cole up in the middle. And denial. Iowa Central putting up a heavy block. Uten again. Touched first by Cole. Teal flies up from the back row. Tip again by St. John's River State. And the push. That was touched first by Horn. I like the lefty swing of Peters. Make Iowa Central see something else. And that one falling. Monahan having to change all kinds of things up. Big swing, tips, you name it. She's got 9. Sampson serving. Going right back to Uten. And found the line on the sideline. What a shot. That did not look like it was even remotely open for Uten. And put that one down. Do we have a challenge? I think we do. I think Coach Horn, yes, that's exactly. Because St. John's River State was coming into to sub. They were bringing in 2 subs, and instead we have a challenge. 3 cameras up above. Spidio is the one that provides the replays and the challenge system. And so official goes down there. You see the laptop. They got these panoramic shots plus the one on the net. Able to look everything over and zoom in. They could go frame by frame to look this one over. That was a line shot, and I said I thought it was awfully close for Uten. And we'll see what happens. There is one of those cameras. My fellows next to me have brought that a couple of times. Like to show those once in a while. They got those on each end, one straight down below us as well. 23-19. I'll say it. About 90 seconds is how long most of these replays have lasted so far here on court number 1. Yeah, there's the one straight down from us as well. It's all hooked up then, and they got cords galore going all over the place with those. But it all comes back down to them. And there's the net camera. Boy, you guys are all over everything here for a second set. You know, what is this, our 4th match already? 3rd match? I don't even remember. 4th match of the day? I guess we should be good at it by now. I mean, they got a baby on camera when I was asking for it in the previous match. So, I mean, they do it all. Got a good crew. Matt is my producer. Isaiah and Carson both on the cameras. Whole crew over on the other side too. So the camera crew, the 4 camera people have been here since D3. Now I got a new producer here for D2. Matt was not here last week. This one's taken a while then. They finally do get a good shot of it. The official looks like she's made up her mind. Big call. And if this is overturned, Iowa Central has set point. Well, this might be overturned if the official's looking this long. Not only is she looking this long, but she's also looking back at the score sheet. So 7-10, the seeds. Iowa Central the 7. They were the 10 seed last year and lost in 5 to Johnson County. St. John's River State wasn't even here last year. They're making their first appearance. Oh, the call reversed. And Coach Horn wins a challenge. Put that on the resume. Got a challenge at the national tournament. That line shot is so tough. You know, and especially for the far side line judge, you can't fault him on that either because it's such a tight shot for him to look at. It's Sampson to serve. Iowa Central's got a few of these to work with. Horn up and over. Yeah. Back row attack. Horn put it over. And that's it. So a 7-point win here in set 2. Iowa Central leading St. John's River State 2-0. Coach Horn's group in charge. 25-20, 25-18. We'll take timeout. Come back. Division II NJCAA Volleyball National Championship Tournament on the NJCAA Network.
As the second largest intercollegiate athletic association in the country, the NJCAA serves not only a pivotal role in college athletics, but in higher education. The NJCAA Foundation aims to move the association forward through resources, grant programs, and other special initiatives. Your gift to the NJCAA Foundation will make a difference and create opportunities.
After 23 seasons as a professional playing and working in baseball, leadership in sports are things I deal with every day. I feel like I have my master's in baseball field experience, but I wanted the formal degree to go along with it. I needed something flexible with my schedule, and I wanted a school that shared my faith and values. That's why ACU's Master's in Sports Leadership was the right fit for me.
Pursue your undergraduate or graduate degree online at Abilene Christian University.
Looking for what comes next? For that moment when everything finally...
1 minute!
Whichever path you choose, it starts here.
(25-20) and 25-18. Boy, we had such a hot start with the offenses with Iowa Central going off for 4:07 in the first set and St. John's River State at 3:10. Well, they've cooled off. Iowa Central hit 280 in that second set for 10 kills, and St. John's River State, they hit a 0. 9 kills, 9 errors. And so there you see the drop-off for St. John's River State. They hit 310 in the first set, all the way down to 145. And the ace is still blossoming for both teams at the service line, and then 346 for Iowa Central in that in the match thus far. All of our match stats brought to you by the U.S. Air Force, and thank them very much. But that really tells you a big story of how the drop-off for St. John's River State and just not able to get their offense going. And only 7 attack errors so far for Iowa Central. 25 kills on 23 assists. They're playing very well right now. Teal with 9 and hit 368. And that's what St. John's River State needs. I mean, they need a good start for one. Get Teal involved immediately, which is smart. It's their best hitter. We did not have a tie in set 2. Iowa Central took the lead and never relinquished it. Back to serve is Peixoto for St. John's River State. But they need a good start. They need to keep in system to allow Teal some opportunities at the net. He has a high efficiency rate. And you got to give her attacks. There, that climbed up and over. Showcase your talents. Don't just bring the power. Got to be a little bit of everything. You know, you can see Coach Dryden right there coming all the way in, telling his team, look at this, look at that. You know, the X's and O's. But right now, St. John's River State in some trouble, down 0-2. And a big block right away. Sampson up front with Hint. And they deny Avilos Morales. And that was a change that Coach Champagne made too. Had Murillo in there. Haven't really seen as much with her, and brought Cole in, and these aces have really piled up. That is 10 aces. So Teal with 11 kills for St. John's River State. Backline, boy, everybody, there's a lot. 5 players with 3 digs. That's the high. Oh, that's in, yes. Yes, the official did the kind of up and down, and I think Coach Champagne's going to challenge that. Yeah. I think the official got it right. Now, this is where I wish we had our replay. Assist-wise, Horn has 20 assists in the match. And then for Iowa Central, they're led by Sampson thus far with 10 kills, and she's hitting 320. Monahan, 9. And remember, I think, 7 of those happened? 6 or 7 of those happened in the first set for Monahan. And Seaman has 19 assists in the match. Caleb in the back, 8. And like I said, it's a host of them that has 3 for St. John's River State. You would think it's the libero, but Peixoto only has 3 digs as well. And the aces, Rodewald with 5 aces, and they all happened in that first set. So they're trying to bring this up. I really think that the line judge got it right. I know he waved the flag up first and then put it down, but I think he got it right. Well, while we got some time, I'm going to talk about the Hall of Fame then for Coach Champagne for St. John's River State. You know, in her playing years, she's been inducted into the Hall of Fame at Owens Community College as well as Austin PA University. And so now she gets this year the induction into the Hall of Fame for NJCAA. And that was because of what she did at Owens. It wasn't necessarily about her coaching career, but her playing career at Owens. And she said, I was definitely shocked to hear the news, especially at this age, which she laughed about. My goal was to not to be sent to the NJCAA Awards banquet alone, though. I wanted my full team in attendance, and that is what is making this so special. This has been so exciting and huge for our college. It's the first time they've ever won the region or made it to the national tournament. So there you go. She didn't even make it about herself, of course. She wanted it to be about the team, but she was inducted in the Owens Hall of Fame, a 2-time D2 All-American in 06 and 07, and the team MVP that year at Owens. So that's the reason why she got in. The call, I thought so. It was in. I thought he got it right. That split-second decision probably made Coach Champagne think about it a little bit more and then figure out maybe, okay, I'll challenge. But The 11th ace for Iowa Central. Big swing for Teal. Rodewald. And the battle up front won by the 5'6" setter Seaman. Are you kidding me? That's incredible. And another ace, the 12th. This time for Wingert. She is from Neola, Iowa, which is Tri-Center High School. That's all the way over by Council Bluffs, near my hometown, in fact. Oh, my. 13 aces. Coach Champagne could not be thrilled with what is happening with her serve receive. She's got the hitters. She needs her team to get the ball up to them, stay in system. There's a good pass. Horn get a chance. Gets to Teal. Far side. Sampson. Oh, that's a save. What a save by Uten. Peyto Show gets it back over. Yeah, Peixoto got it over, but then right away, another kill attempt and down, this time for Robb. Dina Robb. He's from nearby Union High School in LaPorte City. He's also over 200 blocks for her career, which puts her top 10 in Iowa Central. And boy, things are unraveling. Teal long on that. It's a 6-point lead. St. John's River State. Or pardon me, for Iowa Central, 6-point deficit. Yeah, Dina Robb, 16th in blocks in D2 and 200-plus career. Coach Horn said that she was a 2-year starter, played right side last year, and moved to the natural position of middle hitter. And she said that was huge for her to able to move over and be the middle instead of on the right side. You know, some of these kids, they just get comfortable in one certain spot. That's where they want to play. But in your, you know, in the lineup, you kind of have to do what you need to do. If you got a hole on the right side, know a kid that can do it, make that transition. 8-2. Over on the other side, I guess I failed to mention that the other match that's going on, I guess I didn't have that one pulled up. I'll get you a score. 2-time champs. Over on this side, Callie and Madison. Callie is leading 7-2. However, the first set went to Madison 25-19. So that is the 11 up on the 6 after the first set. Maybe a little wake-up call for Callie. That's why they're up by 5 in set 2. It would be a complete and utter shock to see all three out of the 4 Kansas teams losing in the first round. Callie, a long way to go over there, though. Battle tested for sure. They're actually one of the wild cards because they lost their district championship. Johnson County already lost in the second round to Pensacola State. That was a tough serve to handle. Monahan off the single block. Avalise Morales, and that one down for Teal. So if you're St. John's River State, it's all about putting 3 and 4 together. If you give a side out, you got to get it right back. Can't have any more runs for Iowa Central. Horn, and I realize that seems silly to say at 8-4, but it really is true. That back corner, what a sliding play there. Uten getting down on the floor. Rodewald did the same thing. She even managed a set out of it to Sampson. They go to her again, and this time the far corner. Well, how much space can the 6-foot outside hitter Uten get to? I mean, she did everything she could possibly do on this near corner to make a save the first time. The next one could not get to. Wow, what a snap there by Morales. Avilos Morales, pardon me. The official book still has, well, there we go, 9-5, yeah. say the official scoreboard online still had it as 8-5, but now it should be 10-5 after that serving error by St. John's River State. That is their 5th serving error. Iowa Central, I said their most aces is 17. They're sitting at 13 and 5 errors after that one from Sampson. And back to serve will be Reyes, who's subbing in for Avilos Morales. Because you go that's a middle blocker. Typically they don't serve, and that's why Reyes is coming in. Normally have those DSs playing for those middles. Why you don't see a lot of middle hitters that are working all the way around. Set far side for Monahan, blocked, and that one carried up and out off of Rob. Big block up front. Barillo on that. Blocking machine. Coach Champagne called her. How to put up the big blocks. Stop any run for Iowa Central. Reyes on a second one. Nearly an ace. Overpass, though. Oh, couldn't be taken by Uten, though. She wanted to. Back set went to Sampson, and then that second one came to back set for Teal. I go on this near side. Maybe a full swing. Got one for Uten and overpass. And down. Uten gets that. Coach Horn, no timeout. Was 10-5, 10-8. But this is what you got to ask for if you're Coach Champagne. It's one, not one and then the side out. Putting a few together here. That's the third for Reyes. Monahan tracked the ball. No full swing. Uten save. Far side. The lefty swing by Peters. Good. 10-9. 25-20 and 25-18, those first two for Iowa Central. We got a timeout then by Iowa Central as their lead from what was 5 points has evaporated to 1. You're watching the NJCAA Network presented by Zurich American Insurance Company, the official provider of student-athlete insurance for the NJCAA. Zurich helps athletes get back on the field after an injury. Learn more at zurichna.com. Stay up to date with the latest news and information regarding NJCAA volleyball by visiting the official website of the National Junior College Athletic Association at njcaa.org. That's where we're getting the live stats. That's where we get to see the bracket updates, those type of things. As 10-9, our score, third set. We'll jump up from the right side upper half of the bracket to the top left. Coming up next, Kirkwood and Calhoun. Coach Champagne and company bringing their third team to the state, or to the national tournament, pardon me. Third team that has qualified under her head coaching. Asked her about Horn, and I said, is she just as good as Kerrigan Durko, who helped win a national championship at Richard Bland? And that one misses on the 2 for Seaman. Missed that one long. Reyes will continue this run, and we're tied at 10. Our first tie since 13-13 in set 1. Great response by the Vikings, but they have to close it out. Reyes on the dig up. Uten, big swing. McCaleb there. Another block up front. That is what has changed too, as Murillo finishes the overpass. And the run continues with Reyes at the service line. Reyes. And an ace. As it just hit off of Rob's shoulder. But nowhere to go with it. What a run. This was 5-10 after the error for, it was a serving error by Teal. And then Sampson had a serving error for Iowa Central. Monahan blocked. Rob dumped it over on the 1. Uten. Caleb ready. Another block up front as Griffin try to bring it over. Monahan, once again, the wall up there for Murillo, stopping everything. Monahan again up and over the block. Uten on the one. Waters into the net. And the run will end, but it was a Teal service error that put it 5-10. Then Sampson with a serving error, 10-6. That put Reyes on the service line, and she served it from 7-10 to 12-10. And an ace serve by McCaleb. And another ace for Iowa Central. 13. And another one as Uten can't play it. 15 aces. Let's see. McCaleb, I'm looking for her. 2 aces, 10 dig. Overpassed, and that's taken care of by Monahan. And so St. John's River State had put that wonderful run together and got a 2-point lead, and Iowa Central has taken the last 4. And McCaleb back to serve. Playing off Teal, Uten, and missed that one. Looking for the cutter, didn't quite get on top of it. And wouldn't you know it, the 5-0 run for Iowa Central. I mean, that is just crazy. Uten on that, hitting Monahan. And back to serve will be at Stolzfus. Elisa had some swings up front, 89 kills on the year, but 200 digs, so working more of that back row. Monahan with a tip. Teal looking directly at Peixoto, and neither one of them took it. I just cannot believe the miscommunication that we have seen for St. John's River State, especially on the back end. But I would say that the digs are kind of the thing that, you know, they had such a big blocking team, over 230 blocks on the season. As that one dug up by McCaleb, but then came over, and then a back set for Teal. Teal will move to the front line now, and Uten will serve. But only 1,600 digs for St. John's River State. That's 83rd best in D2. I mean, that part of the game, not quite there for, but again, you get such big blocks up front. And the blocking today, just 2 for St. John's River State, 3 for Iowa Central. Teal, need it, had it. Got that one, back down to a 1-point lead. Coach Dryden talking to Teal. We have passed the 5 o'clock hour. We're supposed to be in our 5th match of the day. That's not happening. Peixoto read that very well and got the dig. That was a huge play by Peixoto. I realize Teal gets the kill for that and ties us at 16s, but that was a dump off by Seaman on the 2 for Iowa Central, and Peixoto really read that well. Got down on the floor, fantastic dig and pass. I mean, it even allowed St. John's River State to stay in system as that was heading to the back for Sampson, and Uten trying to make the dig. Couldn't quite get there. Teal has 16 kills. Sampson at 12 and Monahan 10. So you figure the two-headed monster as Teal comes away with the big one there. She's up to 17 then, and Uten 7. So 24 compared to 12 with Sampson and Monahan. Who's going to be the others? Looking for somebody else to help out. I think they need a towel. St. John's River State saying that they've got some condensation or maybe some sweat on the floor. Coach Dryden was seeing it all the way. I mean, you got a lot of players diving on the floor. Perspiration's going to get there. There you go. PA announcer helping out, throwing that out there. Got some good PA announcers here, too. They do a wonderful job. Short serve on that. Peixoto. Tip up front by Hint. And that overpass came all the way over and down on Iowa Central side. Horn gets credit with the kill. I don't even think she meant to do that. Really just meant to on the pass. Peixoto. That was a tough one to handle. Odewald did the best she could with it. Hint. No. Set for Teal. Yes. Tooled it off the block of Hint. St. John's River State with a 2-point lead. Have to have it. Lost the first two sets, 25-20, 25-18. Need this one to force a fourth. And that cutter misses for Sampson. Trying to go that line shot. That's what was challenged earlier. And a timeout by Coach Horn. Good idea. St. John's River State. Let's look at the numbers for the set. Hitting-wise, whoa my. St. John's River State in this particular set is hitting .407. Iowa Central .080. And that's that blocking up front. St. John's River State, and not getting blocks because they only have 2, but they're putting touches on the ball. And that's really all that matters. They're slowing down the Triton's offense. 30 kills to 10 attack errors for Iowa Central at 260. 36 kills, 16 attack errors for St. John's River State, hit 225. So that's the difference, is that St. John's River State is getting some tips up front, finally slowing down this offense for the Tritons. Sometimes it takes a few sets, but you get down 0-2, tough sledding to come back. Kirkwood, the Eagle, coming up next to face Calhoun. Move from one Iowa Community College Athletic Conference team, Iowa Central, to Kirkwood. Right down the road here in Cedar Rapids. Peixoto on that, and that was found in the back row by Sampson. The other thing is that the Vikings have had key runs in this particular match, or in this set, I should say. You know, got that big run by Reyes at the service line. That was huge. As Uten on the tip and found it on the back row. And then after Iowa Central responded with 5 of their own, here comes St. John's again and getting quick side outs. As Horn served. Sampson. Ugh. Should know that by now. Seen him long enough. Up front is Griffin. Seaman back to serve. Been a lot of names. 4th match of the day. 2 more, long. Peixoto just got her arms out of there too. 15 aces thus far for Iowa Central. 22-19, back to serve Teal. St. John's River State trying to close this out in set 3, force a 4th. Sampson off the block. Talia Sampson said over 650 kills, over 1,000 for her career. Played off of Peixoto. Big swing by Uten. Hung in the air forever. Monahan cut it across. Peixoto there. A back set for Teal. It's short. I like the misdirection. If you're Teal, you got to know you got to bring it on that back set. That float serve went off of Uten. And a quick snap going right back up to the front line. Avilos Morales, yes. Only her 4th kill. As the Vikings are 2 away. And it was Reyes that had the real long run earlier for the 5 straight. She's at the service line again. Monahan, not able to full swing. Is Uten, yes. Sampson there on the dig. They go back to her on the back set. Horn touched it first. Peters right into the net. You know, Peters had an injury, a small one, so she missed some time, able to come back now. And sounds like she's pretty healthy. Got a great lefty swing, but some of her sets have been not quite up to the net. And I think that's a good substitution by Coach Champagne, going back to Mallory Goodyear. And an overpass, not taken down by Hint, gives St. John's River State a chance. Uten does bring it. Set point. Goldsmith will come in to serve for Goodyear. Yeah, it just really hadn't been there for Peters. Set point 1. That overpass on the tip. Look out into the net. Oh no! Hint just slipped. I think Hint is asking for the foul. She gets one because she slipped trying to come up. 25-22. St. John's River State winning that set. Good battle to come back as Iowa Central still leads 2-1. We'll take the timeout. Second round action of the NJCAA Division II Volleyball Championship on the NJCAA Network.
Hey, Coach. Looks like the thunderstorm's rolling in. Are we good for the night?
My weather app says we're going to be just fine. Focus on the game.
My knees are aching. Storms are brewing.
Facebook says a tornado just touched down.
Harry weather detected a lightning strike 7.2 miles out. We got to call it.
Like the call.
Attention. The game has been delayed for lightning.
Knew it.
Make the call with confidence.
Hey, Coach. Looks like the thunderstorm's rolling in.
Good morning.
Why so serious?
Great shot.
Car was 250. He got it.
Greenside bunker, land short. Trust your line. There's plenty of green.
Breaks towards the water.
Lots of coaching today, huh?
We're one up.
When you strive to be the best, you need the right insights. Zurich has insurance solutions and risk strategies to help prepare your business for tomorrow.
For the last 87 years, the NJCAA has provided academic and athletic opportunities to thousands of student athletes. However, several rules make it more challenging for two-year college transfers. Recently, 16 national coaches associations, led by the National Fast Pitch Coaches Association, sent a request for change to NCAA leadership to make the rules the same for all transfers. We commend their leadership and stand together in support of same game, same rules.
(25-22), St. John's River State. The Vikings win the third set, and so fend off the sweep from Iowa Central as the Tritons won the first two, 25-20 and 25-18. Finished out that set for St. John's River State at 361 and 19 kills. That almost doubled their output of kills just in that set. There you see the numbers, 227 hitting percentage for St. John's River State in the match. They've got 6 more kills than Iowa Central. But the big one is that 15 aces. Iowa Central had it going off on the service line those first 2 sets. It has calmed down since a little bit. And so St. John's River State, the way they were able to come back in it was their serve receive. It cleaned up some, and all of our match stats presented by the U.S. Air Force. But, that really was the tie turner. Cleaned up the serve receive, able to come back, get into the system, get their hitters attacks. Teal has 18, Uten at 9. And then they got some found money because they got Morales, who had 4. Avalios Morales with 4 kills, hit 429, plus she gave him a block, I think. Oh, no, it was a couple hits, though, as, boy, Sampson comes right back up to the front line, and she'll let it be known that she's there. Griffin also subbing in. Back to service Seaman. Annabelle Seaman. Game knowledge makes up for lack of height. She had a battle earlier that she won up at the net. And that on the sideline, yes, Murillo. The middles got going too a little bit for St. John's River State as Murillo, that is her 3rd kill. She's hit 750 in the match. Peixoto back to serve, the libero for the Viking. Boy, the official really has to watch her too, because she's so close to stepping over the line when she walks up there. It's different than running up there and then hitting. She walks up to the line and then hit. Set for Teal. Line shot. Sampson going down to get that. Griffin can't put it down. Teal again, far side off the block. McCaleb sends it over on the 1. Teal again. McCaleb much better, cleaner pass. And that one out for Sampson. Hit the official even, who didn't even blink. Callie just evened up the match over on the other side, 25-21. So that's a 1-1 right now. The defending champion, though, losing the first set to Madison. All even over there. Monahan, that was a big one. Got to get her going. Shirley Monahan had a big first set. Kind of quiet since then. I mentioned that Sampson's a 4.0 GPA, so is Monahan. Monahan's a 4.0 GPA and is a dental hygiene student. 3-2. Which seems absolutely crazy that you could do volleyball at college 4.0. Even if I was a full-time student and had nothing else going on, if I wasn't doing anything else besides just being a student, I know for a fact I wouldn't be a 4.0 student. As Monahan gets a couple in a row, I think that's a big thing, is you got to start beating her. Her and Sampson have combined for 29. Monahan's high is 18. For Sampson, 28. Got 28 kills in one match. Monahan blocked again. What a save from behind by Sampson. Peixoto on the dig. And that one down. McCaleb tried, but Teal wins that battle. We have only had 6 ties in the 6 ties, that's it. Set 4. 4-3. Iowa Central leading the match 2-1. Monahan again having to go over the block. Heel with the dig, blocked. Uten thought it was probably in, so got her arm out just to try to save it. Peixoto going all the way down, tried to make the play, but could not. I think Uten was right to get that arm out. I do think that block was going to be in on the sideline. She just had no help. You stick that arm out there, you have no idea where that spin will take the ball. Rodewald on that serve. And Uten attacks right back to Rodewald. No one wants to see her serving 4 or 5 in a row again. 5-4, fourth set. Iowa Central. Boy, this arena getting quite a few people in this crowd, too, I've noticed. Rhea quietly throughout the match. More and more people coming in. Monahan on that. I'm sure some of them are Kirkwood fans getting ready for the next match. Some I've seen as Sauk Valley fans. They're sticking around as they'll be our nightcap with Heartland. I'm going to have to do some research on that real quickly, too, because Sauk Valley and Heartland have played twice this year. I'm going to have to look out some numbers for that one. Right back to Uten. And subbing in is Stolzfus. DS is for St. John's River State. Just so important. Vikings cannot afford to lose this one. They'll fall into that consolation bracket. Best you can do then is 5th. Like I said, that consolation is going to be a heavy battle too. Sampson. Rodewald brought it over. Bishoto played it. That's still saved. Oh, wait. Do we have a lift? Or no, into the net. Pardon me. I did hear a whistle. Thought we might have had a lift on St. John's River State. That's not the case. And Wingert. Mio. Pardon me. A net cutter way out. Boot trying to take that down to the 10-foot line and just not there. Wingert again. Serve receive. Tough one there for the Vikings. They free ball it. And Sampson hitting off the block. And you go back to that serve receive. That's not an ace for Wingert, but did the Vikings get a hit off of it? No. So that's just as good as getting an ace, especially when you can remain in system on your own return. That one out. I look at that as the same as an overpass. If your serve gets an overpass coming right back to someone and you get the kill immediately on the one, that's as good as an ace. Uten on a hard serve, ace for her. Uten on the year, 22 kills. She's up to 11. Teal, her high on the year, 26. 26, 8 aces. She also hit 600 in a match. And that's with over 10 attempts. I won't write down if it's lower than that. McCaleb, what a save! McCaleb up front. And Rob got that kill somehow. I have no idea how. Oh, wait. What did they call on that then? I'm going to have to look back at the official sheet for that one. I'm not exactly sure what they called. Battle at the net comes back to St. John's River State. Far side. Heel, no. And another battle at the net, won by the setter. Seaman gets that one. What was the call on the one behind that, though? They called Rob into the net. That's what it was. They called it attack error. She must have came down on the follow-through. And Annabelle Seaman back to serve. Far side, Teal. McCaleb there, ready for it. Set for Sampson, and finds the donut. Put that right in the middle of the defense. Do see a lot of Kirkwood fans coming by. That one long. Seaman on the serve, 11-9. And then Peixoto back to serve for the Viking. Down by 2. Down 2-1 in the match. And into the net. She's really struggled today serving-wise, and I'm not sure why. I mean, 29 aces. Back set for Uten. That was tipped. Yes. 12-10. I mean, the heavy hitters have to show up. We're in deep water. 4 set, 2-1 a match. St. John's River State has to go to their heavy hitters. Got to get it to Teal. Got to get it to Uten. Setter Horn has done a good job moving it around. And that block out. And so that one goes to Griffin. And Hint reports to the front line. Back to serve McCaleb. Short serve. And there you go. Get right back into the middle with Avilos Morales with that one. Again, those middles, that's how important it is, though. You got to get it to them. Got to keep moving it around if you're Horn. I mean, it's just so important. As Monahan, I mean, the same thing holds true for the Tritons. You know that Sampson and Monahan, who just got that last one, they're all going to get attacks, but you really have to get like a Hint involved, or again, Avilos Morales. I mean, that's another one. We've seen up front Murillo get some kills, and she's played really well when she's had attacks. And there's Uten. At this point, there's no secrets between these two teams. They know what's coming. It's all about, can you step up at the moment, get the kills that are necessary, stay away from the runs. Iowa Central has continued this little push and lead so far in set 4. They have not relinquished the lead in set 4 either. We have not had a tie in this set. See, there's Hint. So you get something there. That was a little slide, didn't work. Still got to go to somebody else once in a while. Monahan, Reyes. Excellent pass. Uten involved. Sampson just throws out the right arm. Horn again to Uten. Sampson again. Monahan, no. Far side again to Uten, and this time in front of Sampson. I mean, they just keep hitting and hitting and hitting. Uten with 32, make it 35 attacks. She had 3 in that volley. Got to 14. Reyes, who gave St. John's River State the lead in the last set with a little 5-0 run. Monahan tooling that off the double block up front. Murillo and Goodyear up front. Every point just feels huge right now for each team. Uten, McCaleb. I know they called Hint in the net. Hint into the net. I could not hear the whistle for that one either. I missed it. Back to serve will be Stolfus. Wall on that. Sampson up front. Big kill attempt. Dolphus was ready for it. Had a good dig. Set for Hint. Just put something on it enough to get it across. Uten will full swing, and McCaleb's not there. 15s. I think Coach Horn thought about challenging this. That's why she came out and talked to Seaman quick, just to say, was that over the net? I don't think Seaman had a good enough look at it. Iowa Central just And a 4-hit call on Iowa Central. Tiemann going over and asking. Coach Horn getting clarification from the official down below. No timeout by Coach Horn. Letting the Tritons play it on. And Rodewald, a matrix move to get out of the way of that one. Wingert to serve. 16, set 4. Iowa Central won the first two, 25-20 and 18. St. John's River State, 25-22. Line shot, Uten. I mean, you know you're just going to continue feeding her. She's going to the back now, but got to be her and Teal. Just lead the way. And can Iowa Central get enough out of Sampson and Monahan? And an ace serve for Uten as well. And long. Now you get one, then you give one back. Seems how it always is. Griffin back up to the front line. Again, she could be a one that helps out. Tiemann serving. And an ace serve. Haven't said it for quite a while for Iowa Central. Been a while. 16th ace. Float serve playing off of Reyes. Tied at 18. Now it's Teal's turn to be up front. That was off the melon of the block. Griffin could put that down. Oh, then missed timing up front. It was supposed to go to Murillo, I think. Well, her and Horn talk it over. I think that's exactly what it was supposed to be. And Murillo just was not ready for it. I don't know if the steps were off. Coach Dryden said something to her right away. So did Horn. She went over to her. Boy, miscommunication. And we haven't seen a whole lot of that with St. John River State here in this fourth set. They hit 346. Iowa Central at 308. Both teams hitting very well. Only 2 attack errors for the two teams. Now that last one doesn't necessarily count as an attack error, but you could certainly call it that. They didn't have an attack at all. I think I hit all my readers. Oh, hit the order your official 2025 NJCAA Division II Volleyball Championship merchandise online at the NJCAA store. Visit shopnjcaa.com to view exclusive national championship merchandise. Coach Champagne, 3rd team to the national tournament since the spring of 2021. Won a national championship at Richard Bland. Got a good crew here, but tipped. Sampson, Iowa Central. 7 seed trying to beat the 10. What a battle. What an absolute battle we have had. And an ace. And that ties Iowa Central for their season high. 17 aces. Won't get anywhere near the season high of kills for either team. And that one a little bit out. A little aggressive. Again, you get one, then you give one. Peixoto to back the serve. Let's see if she can put one in. She really has struggled serving today. That was much better. Caleb on that. And what a swing by Sampson. Well, we've seen Teal, we've seen Uten. Sampson's trying to put a stamp on this. She's up to 20 kills. Monahan at 15. What a battle we have had. And a block up front. We haven't talked too much about those either, as neither team has really come away with some big blocking. That set took Monahan all the way to the antenna, and then the tip works over on the far side for Teal. 22-20. St. John's River State has to have it to force a fifth. Horn back to serve. Monahan found the back line. And Coach Champagne calling her second timeout. It is your playmakers. It is your GTGs, go-to gals. That's who's stepping up. You know, a couple of matches I have said that it's not so much the heavy hitters. It has been the digging in the back, the grinding out. I've seen a few of those matches. This one is the heavy digger, or this is the heavy hitters up front, pardon me. This has all been Teal, Uten, and the Sampson-Monahan show. And we're just watching because Teal and Uten, 20 and 17 kills respectively. They've added up 37 kills between the two of them for St. John's River State. Sampson and Monahan also have added up to 37, 21 and 16. The drop off after that, Griffin has 4. And for St. John's River State, Avilos Morales 5, Murillo 4. It is really the tag teams up front. My broadcast partner, Dwayne Cook, from the last tournament, likes to call it the two-headed monster. I like to call it tag team. That's what we've seen. 2 tag teams up front. Those duos putting on a show here at the Alliant Energy Powerhouse. Iowa Central needs 2 to round it out. Set. Who does it go to? Uten. Not the full swing. And a big block. Avilos Morales with the block. Shutting down the attempt by Cooper Griffin. Can't always go to the same one. That's why you change it up. Teal on the serve. Set for Monahan. That was off the block as well. Came back over to Iowa Central side. They go back to Monahan. A block again. How about a back set? That was off of the block. Set, far side. Uten, no. Sampson there. Sampson brought it back over. Peixoto, and then Avilas Morales. Boy, is she fired up. She is wanting that one. 23-22. Her blocking up front. You can hear Coach Dryden, or see him talking to Avilos Morales. But it wasn't just the hit that she got, it's the blocking with it. Multiple times at the net, Iowa Central coming up, trying to get the kill. You don't necessarily get an actual block for that because you're not getting the block point. But what you are getting is the Iowa Central Triton hitters thinking about it over and over again. But that's what you want. It is that mental and mind game being played. Winner of this gets to move into the quarterfinal. Winner of this would play the winner of Heartland and Sauk Valley coming up tomorrow at 7:30. That's the nightcap here on court number 1. Teal to serve after the timeout. Iowa Central still leading by 1. And you know if St. John's River State gets this thing to 5, anything can happen then. Uten through the block, got it, tied up, 23s. First tie since 18s. Uten, Teal, Monahan, Sampson. And this rotation right now, I will specify, is I know you're going to see the wide shot in a second. Monahan is in the middle of the defense for Iowa Central. She is in the back row right now, not able to full attack up front. That makes a huge difference for Iowa Central. Not able to get her up there. Oh, and my goodness. Serve into the net. The most inopportune time. Rhoda Wall has a chance to close out the match. The 5 aces in the first set. Hasn't had one since. She won't now. Served it long. 24s. Playing extras. And that still does not put does not put Sampson up to the front. She's on the near side, rotation in the back. You'll see her just off to your screen as they pan over to the left. So she is still not up front. 24s. Uten is up front, though, and Teal is not. So, no, this is probably going to Monahan. And it does. Went line, got it down. Wow, what a position. What a spot for Monahan. Match point number 2. Monahan back to serve. Where will it go? Uten. Got it! Far sideline says in. Hold on now. We're going to get a challenge. Believe it or not, this would not be the last or the first match that ends on a challenge if this were to be won by Iowa Central. Earlier in the day, over on court number 2, St. Clair County defeated Neosho County in the second match of the day on a challenge in the 5th set, 15-13. Looked like it was going to be tied 14-14. Instead, overturned. And here we go. 25s. They're looking at a line shot. This is the toughest angle for our line judge over on the left side to look at it. So the panoramic shot. I gotta believe they're gonna enhance it about 100 times more. Oh my, was that in or out? The official, that was tough for us to even decipher. This might be out. This might be overturned. It is ruled in. It was close. Tied at 25s. 4th set. Iowa Central winning the first. 2. St. John's River State 25-22 in set 3. Set 4. Goldsfuss to serve. The one thing that did do was bring Sampson to the front line. Coach Horn has a timeout, and she'll use it. Stolzfus has set point. St. John's River State has fought off 2 match points, now has a chance to push for a 5th. I told my crew up here this was going to be a great match, and it certainly has been. It's been a duel. Sampson's up to 21 kills, Monahan 17. Teal with 20, and Uten at 19. That's all you need to hear, because everybody else, it's the drop-off. Avilos Morales at 6 is next for the Vikings, and only 4 for Griffin for Iowa Central. In this set, St. John's River State hitting 371, 263 for Iowa Central. St. John's River State hit a 0 back in the second set. That feels like an hour and a half ago. Stolzfus to serve. Set point number 1 for St. John's River State. It's an avalanche over on the other side as Callie is about to lead 2-1 over Madison. Sampson never got a full swing. Back set kill for Teal, and we're going 5. 27-25. Only 6 ties in each set besides set 2. There was no ties in set 2. 18 total ties in the match. And St. John's River State has fought off an 0-2 start to push to a 5th set. We'll take the timeout. We'll come back. You are watching the NJCAA Division II Volleyball Championship on the NJCAA Network.
After 23 seasons as a professional playing and working in baseball, leadership in sports are things I deal with every day. I feel like I have my master's in baseball field experience, but I wanted the formal degree to go along with it. I needed something flexible with my schedule, and I wanted a school that shared my faith and values. That's why ACU's Master's in Sports Leadership was the right fit for me.
Pursue your undergraduate or graduate degree online at Abilene Christian University.
Credit Union One, the official banking partner of the National Junior College Athletic Association, offers the best of everyday banking. CU1 members gain access to competitive products like high-yield checking, dedicated financial wellness resources to help you build a strong foundation for the future, and nationwide access through 24/7 digital and mobile banking and an expansive network of 90,000 ATMs from coast to coast. Discover better banking for all at cu1.com. Federally insured by NCUA.
My name is Riley Clark. I'm the athletic director at the Weber School in Sandy Springs. Our gym was just built this past year. It's a brand new facility, and we were in need of new scoreboards. We were looking for good quality of scoreboard, ease of use with the iPads and the ability to post anything we want on that, the great warranty that it has and the ability to work with a company so easily. Those were really things we were looking for, and we found all of that with digital scoreboards.
Looking for what comes next? For that moment when everything finally...
1 minute!
Whichever path you choose, it starts here.
(27-25). St. John's River State winning the 4th set. We have pushed to a 5th between Iowa Central and St. John's River State. The 7th seed Iowa Central Tritons on a 10-match winning streak. 12-match winning streak for the Vikings of St. John's River State. Who comes up with the biggest ones now? 56 kills for the Vikings, 49 for Iowa Central. It's been the 2 big ones, though. Teal, 29. Uten, 19. 22 for Sampson, 17 for Monahan. Iowa Central had 2 match points. Didn't finish it off. First serve. Away we go. And it comes right to Teal. Putting that down in a 1-0 start for the Vikings. Peixoto to serve. How will the serve receive be for each team? Remember, Sampson did not get a full swing. Avilos Morales is having fun out on the court. A huge block there. Solo on Sampson. What a match. And then the tip. So Sampson, but that puts Sampson in the back row. And that's kind of where Iowa Central was stuck a while in set 4 and not able to get her back up to the front line. Overpass and a joust, won by Horn. Cali leads 2-1 over on the other side, and their set 4 has just gotten underway between them and Madison. Here, the money set. 5th set. Horn to serve. Monahan, that block out of bounds. So Monahan with that one. 3-2 our score. Pretty good serve. Libero to libero there. McCaleb to Peixoto. Iowa Central really needs somebody else, though, to get some points up front besides Monahan as well as Sampson, but it doesn't seem like it's happening. Teal, and what a dig by Sampson. Monahan tools it off the block. We're tied at 3. Go to 15. Must win by 2. Cali really settled in on that last set. Won 25-15 after getting shell-shocked there by Madison that first set, 25-19. Cali, the 2-time champion. This goes to show you how open this tournament is. As a line shot for Teal, Sampson saves. Our side just got to have somebody else. Peixoto had that dig, but it kind of went backwards on her. Sampson on the back set. Teal up to the net. Saved up. Peixoto on that. And hint. And that's what you need if you're Iowa Central. You got to have somebody else come through. Someone else has to come through for Iowa Central up front. Hint does there. 4-3, but that's got to be the first time almost in a full set that somebody besides Monahan and Sampson did not get a kill. Same holds true on the other side. Goodyear on a good snap, but couldn't put it down. Monahan, no. Peixoto there. Avilos Morales. I'll get it right sooner or later. Avilos Morales. That has been the tongue twister for me all day. Avilos Morales on that. 4s. Switch signs that someone gets 8. And a good jump there, Goodyear. Or no, pardon me, Griffin. I saw the 5, I'm looking at the wrong roster. So Griffin on that was a big one. That was a big point. Again, that's back-to-back then points for Iowa Central without coming from Sampson and Monahan. Rodewald to the back. Peixoto on the receive. Avilos Morales, yes, 5s. Avilos Morales did have a match where she hit 14 kills and another match where she went over 700 hitting in the match. Here she has 8 and hitting 538. Monahan, long. Reyes, who had that 5-0 run earlier in the match. That was back in set 3. Service line. And Rodewald had those 5 aces. And that was all the way at the first. Blocked by Murillo. Seven, 5. St. John's River State trying to complete a reverse sweep over the ICAC champion. Iowa Central looked like they had all the momentum in the world after set 2, where they won 25-18. Set 2, we didn't even have a tie. They led from beginning to end. And instead, St. John's River State not folding up, finding things. Keys were serve tough, keep the mindset of scoring our own points, and have fun, according to Coach Champagne. Remember, this was the team that had not played for 2 weeks. Serve and pass, that's the two areas we knew could be strengths. We struggled with these at the OWT, but have worked really hard to make them areas of strengths. That's what Coach Horn said about her team. And the serving has been there. They're up to 17 aces, the most in a match. But they find themselves down 2. Got Monahan right away after the timeout. But that's the serve receive that she's talking about, that Horn's talking about. Go with a clean look, get it up to the front, big swing. And a quick side out. Now you're going to see Sampson up front. And the block stays in for Hint as well as Seaman. And we're tied back at 7s. Remember, they flip sides at 8. Monahan. Nearly another ace. And another block. Hint on that. Well, that was tough. Uten was going backwards, too. Her momentum taking her away from the net. That's a really tough set for her. The serve receive is just not there for St. John's River State. Remember, this is not a timeout. The team switch sides and we go again. So the coaching staffs and everything else cross pass. All they do is switch sides. I actually am not really a big fan of this. I would prefer if they would just stay where they are and we continue on playing, but that has always been a case in set 5s, so we play on. Much better serve receive. That was by Teal. Uten comes right back with a big swing and kill. Tied at 8. I mean, you know that it's going to the heavy hitters. Sampson's up front. Hint comes up with a couple big blocks. So does Seaman. The others play along, but it's been the main eventers. Stolzfus to serve. Sampson over the block. And into the net. A rare miss for Uten. Peixoto got a pretty good pass out of that to give it to Horn and able to set Uten. Just missing that one. Teal's in the back. And so is Monahan. So up front, you know you're going to see Sampson for Iowa Central and Uten for St. John's River State. And that one long. A serving error for Iowa Central, and some groans by the Triton fans, some disbelief over to my left. They can't believe what has transpired these last 2 sets. So that moves Uten to the back. Sampson missed it on the cut, trying to hit the 10-foot line from far to near. Huge swing, just missed it. Sampson only her 6th hitting error on 57 attacks. Monahan, that one goes sideways. Sampson, 10-foot line, roll shot, and it worked because Murillo tried to get the solo block, and it went off of it. Seaman serving. I hope you're entertained as much as I am. What a match. Horn sets. Teal back up front. Michaela about to go sideways. It just keeps going on. 22 for Teal. Not even her season high. She's at 26 in the season high. Uten on the season, 22 kills. Sampson on the year, a 28 kill. Monahan at 18. He might be over that by now. To the corner. Tied at 11 after Sampson. Monahan has 20. Short serve. Peixoto was the one setting that. Gave it off to Teal. Monahan back to the front line. Uten saves. Right back to Teal. And got it past the diving Sampson. 12-11. I mean, it's all about keeping that 1-point lead, right? You need the 2 to win. Horn to serve. Sense the tension in this arena, too. Oh, boy, overpass. And that was Morales again. Avilos Morales, because of the rotation had changed. Not Murillo. Avilos Morales. She has turned out to be somewhat of the MVP here in these last couple of sets. She's up to 9 kills at 571. Murillo doesn't have an attack air either. And it's an avalanche over there by Cali here in set 4 because they lead by 7. They lead the match over Madison in the 6-11 matchup. Winner of this one takes on the winner of Heartland and Sauk Valley. That is our nightcap. We're at 6:06, and our nightcap is supposed to be at 7 o'clock local time. We're a little behind schedule with a couple of 5-setters. I know I've been thoroughly entertained up here, though. What a match we've had. We'll have Kirkwood and Calhoun coming up next. Calhoun already fought off a 5-setter with Monroe earlier in the day. Back to serve Horn. 2-point lead for St. John's River State. Off the tape, wow. McCaleb saving that. Monahan, that one right back over. She'll get another shot at it. Cooled off the block. Peixoto there. Teal, match point. Match point for Horn and St. John's River State. What an unbelievable comeback. Goes to Monahan. Peixoto went up and over. Set and kill for Griffin. Iowa Central fights off 1. They have to fight off at least 2 more. McCaleb to serve. And we got more condensation on the floor. Avilos Morales going down there with the towel. McCaleb has moved over. Got to watch her 5-second call here. Got it off. Horn sets. Avilos Morales caps it off 15-12. A reverse sweep by the Vikings. An incredible response by Coach Champagne's crew. 20-25, 18-25, and the Vikings respond with 25-22, 27-25, and win it 15-12. Iowa Central falls to the 5th place bracket, and we'll see them a little bit later on tomorrow. We'll see how the Tritons respond after a very disappointing 5-set loss. Teal finishes with 25 at Uten 20. Avilos Morales at 10.